Welcome to the Paperback Podcast, a podcast for ambitious fiction authors who are ready to go from storyteller to story seller. I'm Pagan and I'm a copywriter and coach helping fiction authors tell and sell their story. As a best-selling author myself, I know how much work goes into creating a novel and it deserves to be read. Believe me when I say this, your soulmate readers are out there and together we're going to find them. Welcome back everyone, how is it going? Today's episode is going to be super helpful for any authors who struggle with managing their time or who want to automate more of their workflow. I've mentioned automation here on the podcast a couple of times now, but we've never really ventured into ways that you can implement automation for yourself. Today, that's what we'll be doing. I'm going to be sharing some book marketing methods that will save you time and energy by reducing the amount of manual work you need to be doing and automating systems to sell books for you. Let's dive into it, shall we? It's time for Tooltip of the Day. I love using tools and tips to automate my workflow and make running a business so much easier, and I aim to share one tool or tip per episode that I personally use and recommend. Today, I'm recommending MailChimp. MailChimp is a super easy and free tool that you can use to send out newsletters, email sequences, and more to multiple people at once. It's a massive time saver, and it makes email marketing so much easier for any business owner or creative entrepreneur. If you're looking to build an email list for your books, definitely give MailChimp a try. I promise you won't regret it. If you want to check out MailChimp, I've got a link in the show notes so that you could easily go take a look. Make sure you do after the show. Okay, my first time-effective method to sell your book is an automated sales funnel. So any kind of automated funnel can work to sell your book, and you can do these really well through email marketing. It usually works best if you offer something free in exchange for them joining your mailing list. Make sure this free thing actually benefits them. It could be the first 3 chapters of your book, free novella, etc. Once they're warmed up, you can pitch your book that's for sale, and this should be the obvious next step. They like the first book, they get the second one. Or they like the first couple of chapters, they buy the rest of the book to see what happens. Makes sense, right? Having a funnel like this in place means you don't have to manually sell your book to every person who stumbles across you. You can set this up just once and automate the freebie so that it's constantly getting downloads, your list is constantly growing, and it's resulting in constant sales, even when you're sleeping. The next method I want to share today is scheduled social media posts. We all know that posting on social media is important, but it's the actual manual process of coming up with a post, writing it out, and hitting publish that can be overwhelming. That's why I like to plan my social media content in advance and schedule it ahead of time. It means I'm doing the bulk of the work when I'm actually feeling motivated and creative, and it gets posted at the right times too. It's really easy to schedule content. You can actually schedule posts straight to Facebook pages and groups without paying for a program. There's also a couple of free programs out there for other platforms, but I like to use Planoly and CoSchedule for everything else. The third method I'm sharing today is emailing announcements, promotions, etc. to a mass audience. Imagine this, your book is live on the Amazon store and you want to tell as many people as possible. One of the easiest ways to do this is to email everybody the email message at once. And this doesn't have to take hours of manual email processing. By building an email list ahead of time, you can schedule this message to go out on the right day to a list of thousands of people. Imagine how powerful that would be for your launch week sales, and with minimal effort on your part too. After all, we already talked about how you can build your email list on autopilot. You can use MailChimp to send emails to massive lists at one time. The next method on my list is using call to action in your content. If you're going to be putting content out there, why wouldn't you add a call to action? There's very little reason to be creating content if it doesn't have a purpose. And whether that's to build brand awareness or to convert leads, it's critical that you're telling people what action to take next. The really cool thing about content is that once it's created, it can be found forever at any time. It can also be shared, repurposed, and reposted. So by having a call to action that clearly tells people what you want them to do next, you're enabling people to be redirected to your book sales page at any given time without you having to manually be there to tell them where to go. The second last method I'd like to share today is street teams. Street teams are very handy to have. If you're not sure what they are, they're basically a group of people who have been supporting you or your novel and want to help you promote it prior or post-release. If you do it right, street teams can be very automated because you have all these people working on your behalf to get the message out about your book in various ways, and all you have to do is tell them what they need to be doing. It can be as easy as sending them a task list or a weekly email, and you can even schedule this to go out automatically upon joining the team. And finally, the last method I have to share with you today is visual marketing and book trailers. When you're building an online presence and brand, you have a lot of virtual space where you can be promoting your book visually. Facebook headers, pinned posts, YouTube book trailers, Instagram story highlights, the list goes on. There's a lot of places that people will look at more than once when they visit your profile. So if you're succeeding in drawing attention back to you on a consistent basis, you'll also succeed in ensuring that they have the release date embedded into their brain with visual marketing. Plus, it's a proven study that people need to see an offer 7 to 8 times before they will even consider buying it. So the more that you can get people seeing your book, the more chance you have of earning a sale. That's all I have for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please leave a review, or if you found this specific episode helpful, please share it with a friend who you think might enjoy it too. And don't forget that I'll be back 2 weeks from now with another episode of the Paperback Podcast.